Hi everybody, today is Saturday, August 27th, 2022, and this is episode number 6 of Running with Scissors, Stitching with Jane and Julie.
Yep.
I'm Jane.
And I'm Julie. Welcome.
Welcome.
Yes.
And I have to be honest with you guys, I'm super tired today, so this might be yawning with scissors. Can't make any promises.
Well, we'll take away all sharp objects. We shouldn't yawn
Probably
with sharp
if you hear a buzzing sound, it's probably me snoring. I apologize in advance.
Oh my God. What a week.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to see you today. If you are a new viewer, welcome.
Yes.
We're glad to see you. We hope you like what you see and that you'll hit the like button and the subscribe button and ring the little bell so that we can alert you when we've come with more, what?
Delightful deliveries or delightful details.
Delightfulness, just general delightfulness. And if you are a returning friend, thank you very much for spending your time with us again. We're happy to see you, and thank you for all of the great comments. We really do enjoy hearing from you.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
And a special thank you again to Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot.
Yes.
On Flosstube for giving us another generous shout out in her video. It was very exciting to see.
It was. She incorporated the ruching technique that we did a delightful detail on, along with some fabric stripping to make just a beautiful edging on what turned out to be a free download that she had stitched.
Yeah, and we immediately had to pause watching the video so that we could go to Hello from Liz Matthews website and get that download for our very own.
Yes.
So
yes. Thank you very much.
Such an enabler. We love her. But
we shall stick together.
Oh my gosh, my bank account took such a hit.
Well, that's what it's about,
watching
right?
that video. You only live once, I guess.
I guess YOLO, as the kids say, right?
Yeah, we really do need to make an acronym for you only have so much storage. What would that be? We'll figure it out and we'll bring it to you next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In regards to the delightful details, Jane and I kind of have been discussing this. As much as they're really fun to do, they are kind of time consuming. So if we're doing an episode every 2 weeks and a delightful detail on the off week, it's kind of like now it's a full-time job of creating and bringing all this goodness to everyone.
Because math.
Well, not only that, but I am really endured this last couple of weeks how life just gets in the way of living, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh. So we kind of thought what we'd do is have, I'd be working in the background, getting things stitched and set up and prepped. And then we're going to have a video day. Where we're going to have that. We will have pie. Now, we talk about pie a lot. We've had one piece in a year.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but here's something that a friend turned me on to. And so there's this company called Cedar Crest that makes key lime pie ice cream. And she's like, this is life-changing. You should really try it. It's seasonal. It's getting kind of hard to get. And I thought, it's ice cream. I mean, how great could it get? But then my sister-in-law, Kathy, scored some. And she was sending me pictures, and she's like, oh my God, it tastes just like the pie.
Really?
And I'm like, I felt really left out and kind of feeling sorry for myself. So I scored a couple of pints. And I'll hang my head later, but I had it for breakfast this morning.
Did you save me a scoop?
I saved you a pint.
Oh, okay.
And I do have to tell you, it does taste exactly like the pie. And it's got little swirls of like graham cracker crust in it and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Oh.
I wouldn't say life-changing, but...
Talked all about pie. I forgot where I was going with this.
We're going to have a video extravaganza day where we're going to have pie.
It may be a short video day. But then that way, we'll have like a stockpile of techniques that we can then release as we are moving along
We
forward.
will hoard the tips and then release them into the wild gradually.
Gradually. So that's what we're going to do. So just hold on. They're coming. But they got to be made first. Because got lots of comments, lots of suggestions.
Yeah, great suggestions.
So
Thank you.
we're going to try to compile them into little segments. So you're getting more than just one little tip. So that's that. So we are going to go forward with WIPS. What you do? I know you worked 2 jobs this last week, so I'm surprised you're sitting upright.
Me too.
Yeah. So what did you've got a whole stack of goodness.
I tried to
It's
be
gotta
so
mean
organized
something.
and make sure I didn't have any naughty needle minders attached or anything.
So what you got?
Okay. I made some good progress on Tarry. This is from Shepherd's Bush. I think I got the color thing figured out.
Cool.
Went through my stash of leftover silks. And here is my progress.
Oh, Lord.
So she's, you know, she's got her dress. She's carrying her little flag.
Oh.
She really was fun to work on.
Is that her shawl?
Yeah.
Oh.
And her shawl has a bunch of back stitching on it for fringe. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Very nice progress.
And then I also made some progress on My Earth from Shepherd's Bush. This is also a lot of fun to stitch on. And here is my progress there.
Oh.
Yeah, she's got a few flower friends keeping her
Yes.
company, and her dress is fully finished. And the basket with some flowers. Yeah, I love the colors. I love the colors.
Very
a lot
nice.
of fun.
You did do some good, make some good headway on those.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried. And then this is The Journey by Shepherd's Bush. And I mostly accomplished the wording this time around, but some good progress there.
And she texted me, I'm off one thread.
Yeah, I was off one horizontal thread. Couldn't find where it was, and I thought, it's not one that I can leave because there's a specialty band right below it, and it'll, you know, it's confined in that zigzag square. I have to figure it out. Luckily, after I cried in the bathroom for like 15, 20 minutes and was wiping the bitter, salty tears from my eyes, I spotted where it was, and I didn't have to frog very much.
Yeah.
So
she said,
that
I'll
was
leave
good.
it. I'll leave it. And I'm like, well, I won't tell anyone. And then the next
Oh, no.
text message was, I'm good with leaving it, but I think that it might affect the specialty band. So doggone it.
I had to resist the urge to come in here and get the big scissor and just cut it in pieces and start over, but
No.
I was a grown up about it just this time. And then this is All Through the Night, Oh, Christmas Tree. And I had a little bit of time that I stole while we were doing something else to work on this and made good progress. I think, I'm not promising, but I think I could probably have this as a finish the next time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Not a fully finish, but a finish.
No, because you're going to take a little time away at the cabin. So
Going
then,
to the cabin for Labor Day weekend.
yeah.
Yep.
But will it be a working, or are you taking it off?
It'll be working. But I have Monday is a company holiday, Labor Day, and I took Tuesday off. So, and this is just to remind everybody, in case you're keeping score at home, this is on Lakeside linen, 36 count navy bean, and I am using Dinky Dye's Overdyed silk seagrass.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for you to finish that.
Yeah,
so
I'm very
I
excited.
can help finish it. That
Julie has
about
big
that.
plans.
I do have plans.
And I did no heart hanger this week. I'll probably get back to it after Labor Day.
All in time. All in time.
But I know Julie's got some heart hanger heaven to show later,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
looking
and
forward
Julie
to
right
that.
now is resisting a sneeze. So you've been warned. Gosh, I hate
All right.
that. We try to get that out. You can't force yourself to sneeze before a video.
There are a lot of other things you can't force yourself to do before a video. I won't go into any details, but I'm just saying.
So I have some WIPS and I have some PIPS. And I'll explain those later.
PIPS?
Nope.
Oh, it
pips.
makes me hungry for
Some
those things.
pips. Pips. All right. Come said the wind.
The continuing saga. The wind is saying a lot of things to Julie right now.
Yeah, you know what it's saying is, put this down and work on your other stuff because you'll not get anything done. Oh my gosh, I am enjoying this. Yes, I said that. I am enjoying this so much.
It's beautiful, Julie.
You know, it really is. I'm really pleased with it. And you know, I got all that, which looks like white, but it's a peach color. And then I'm like, okay, oh well, now I got to put that other, I got to put this in for, because that's the third color. And then I'm like, well, then what goes here? And I'm like, all right, you've got to stop. So I'm really enjoying it. Now this is on 36 count Cyprium.
Picture this plus.
Picture this plus, and it's using 1 strand of weeks over 2 fabric threads, which I really like on 36 count.
Oh, good.
Yes, I'm not just going to go crazy and do everything with 1 strand, but I am enjoying that very much. So until we get to the over one, so
let's not talk about it today.
No, and then so here I'll just show this because I forgot to. This is what it looks like.
Oh, it's going to be so beautiful.
Very love it. Then well.
Oh my God, you guys, we have piles on the floor.
Yeah,
it's happening.
It's
We're becoming a real Flosstube. We have 5 piles on the floor.
Do you remember when I was waiting in anticipation of the avocado? Avocado. I gotta think.
40 count.
It's avocado with F's. I stumbled on that word so horribly. So we're waiting. It did not come. I waited for the mailman. It came when I got home. It was there. And I'll show it to you in my delightful delivery. But prior to receiving it, I wanted to start this, the blue flower. Lupine. Or lupine. Whoever calls it, however they call it. Now, this is all in silks. I wanted to start it just because of, so I had no fabric. So we went through all your fabric that day. And actually, she gave me the salvage cut of that.
Lakeside linen.
Lakeside linen.
36 count.
Navy bean. And so we laid it on there. Oh, I really liked it.
Beautiful.
Because here's the fibers. Oh, I mean, I've got my acrylic thread drops going. I released. The silk has been released. And
it's unkinked.
It's like, oh my gosh. So we liked the way it looked on this fabric. So when the avocado came, I'm like, all right, lay it on there.
It's not too late to change course if I want to.
I didn't like it.
You didn't?
It was more green than I wanted. Mm-hmm. Now I'm kind of new to all the hand-dyed fabrics because you typically don't use those in Hardinger.
Right.
You know, so anyways, not only did I start, I did text you last night, we really only used 1 strand of silk. Holy cow, it was terrible. And
look at that.
I'm testing the new hoop. So
it's beautiful.
It is kind of fun. Now I want you to just hold this. Feel that hoop. It's like nothing's there. Yeah. Now I've used wood hoops before, and they had some weight to them, but I found this just like I was stitching on a cloud.
Oh.
And I wasn't seeing the variegation in the silk right away, but then, you know, when you're under a spotlight and everything, when I held it away.
It's kind of washed out.
Yeah, when I held it away, I'm like, oh, I see it. That I don't see any holes in the fabric when I'm not under the... But I found it easy to use. Show the back. I saw it's
tension.
easy to just pull that, and I like it's got not a drum type tension.
So you can still have a little give in it if you want.
So I'm really liking.
I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, I'm really liking the hoop. I like the fabric choice. And so last night I'm plugging away on this thinking this is really cool, but you've got to stop because you've got something else. I got one more start. I'm like just a starting fiend here.
What is happening?
I don't know. A part of me doesn't like it because when I'm really into like Come Said the Wind, I'm like, I'm really enjoying this and I don't want to stop to stitch something else, but then they're sitting there going like, you know,
what about me?
You started me.
Sarah McLachlan singing in the background.
So it's like you start.
I will remember you.
So it's kind of like, why'd you start me? Just so you could have the satisfaction, and I sit here not stitched. I feel like they kind of communicate with me. Okay.
And what's in your cup when you drink at night when you hear the voices?
It's a chocolate
madness.
It's a chocolate-induced thing. Okay, so I don't think any of us will ever forget
reindeer fried steak.
Reindeer fried steak. I laugh every time I look at this.
Tasty.
So you and I had talked about doing it on 18 count.
Yeah,
over
18
2.
count linen. Yep.
Well, the dimensions, and I'm not even going to go into the math, but on 18 count, over 2, which would make it a 9 count, really was a little too long for the width for me.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, all right, now you're going to stitch something. Where are you going to put it? And I'm kind of going, well, I'd like to put it there.
Still
It'll
have
be
room
too
in
long.
my drawer.
Yeah, I know, but you know me. Or you say you do. But so I decided I was going to do it on 18 count linen, but I was going to do it over 1 thread to be 18 count. Yeah. Instead of over 2 to be 9. So you look at me like...
Because math.
Don't change my mind. I haven't started, but this is where the PIP comes in. Now we talk about a WIP, which is works in progress, which I technically have, well, 3, because I did work on my, something wicked. Something wicked, but I didn't bring that.
Design.
So I spent far too much time, I think, on prepping for a work to be in progress. So I told Tom, I said, you know, I got to get like some credit.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a lot of work.
So I said, I'm coining a new phrase. This is called a PIP. And he said, you're a PIP. But here's why. Now, I don't know.
What does it stand for?
Preparation in progress. Prep in progress. Because
Say
there
that
was
3 times really fast.
I have to think of what it was even. But here's the thing. We talked about if I were to stitch it on this 18 count, it's very stiff. Natural linen has a tremendous amount of sizing in it.
Yeah.
And as you're working it, the moisture from your hands and the oils, you can even feel it get sticky sometimes.
And it really, but it's contradictory because even though it gets sticky, it gets sticky because it's leaching all that oil onto your hands, and your hands end up being really chapped and dry.
Well, like working with a lot of paper.
Yeah.
So I thought, do I want to work in a hoop? It's so stable. I wouldn't need to have it on a hoop or a scroll bar. So I thought maybe I'd work in hand. But I'm like, the way I stitch, all of this is going to be really softened, and this side is going to be hard as rock. So I'm like, then when I go to make a bag out of it, I'm going to feel inclined to wash it.
Oh.
And I'm using red DMC thread, not with white or ecru. Not a risk I'm really willing to take. So here's where the prep comes in. I cut 2 pieces, one for the front, one for the back, because I'm only going to use fabric. I'm only going to use fabric for the top border band. I washed this with Tide in a dish, you know, let it set all day and then rinsed it real well. It shrunk a 1/2 inch on the width.
Oh, wow.
And a 1/2 inch on the length. So if you get your hand-dyed fabrics, you'll notice that you'll order a yard and it'll come saying it's 35 inches.
Yeah.
Or some of your half yards are 17 inches.
The standard 19 by 27 ends up being
Yep.
like 18 by 25 or 26
Yep.
instead.
And not only that, but I should have zigzagged it ahead of time or serged it because I lost a good 4 threads on either side because it kind of released the sizing, so they got a little, you know, pulled a little. So I'm glad I didn't feel the difference. I mean, it still is a heavy, substantial fabric. But according to the stiffness of this, wouldn't you rather work on that?
I would rather work on that.
So I took one for the team and I did this.
That's really a good tip.
It was like, well, it does shrink. Your fabric will shrink. It will soften. And I will zigzag this.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
Look on the bottom.
Yeah. Which isn't crucial because I left a good almost 4 inches because I didn't know the spacing for the bag seams and, you know, how I wanted it to look.
Yeah,
but,
look at that.
So now I will wash the other piece. I'll zigzag them both and I'll wash the other piece as well. So I have
that you can do chicken fried steak or lamb fried steak?
No, I'm gonna back it.
With the same?
With the same.
Oh,
that's
good
what
idea.
the pattern said. So I am going to do that. I think that'll give us some nice substance to have this stiffness rather than flimsier cotton striped pillow ticking or whatever I'm going to find. But this is the thread I'm going to use. I'm just going to use DMC.
What is that? $4.98?
$4.98. My
I love
favorite.
that, right? Yeah.
And they didn't. They used I can't find it right now. Let me see. They used 3777, which was almost like a clay.
Like a terracotta color.
A terracotta clay. And for my house, I wanted it to be red. So, we are so boisterous today. I'd sing, but my mother said you can't carry a tune in a bucket. So that's a PIP because I also have, I will go over that in my Delightful Deliveries. That was another thing that took me like a half an afternoon to find what you want to do.
I have some floss tosses to do myself, probably tomorrow when maybe it's not as overcast and the light is a little better in here. And it's going to be a lot of work.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
But it is time consuming.
But it brings on a lot of guilt because I have to dig through my massive fabric stash.
I wouldn't have guilt over that.
Well, wait till you see the Delightful Deliveries. Well, why, Jane? Why?
Well, yeah. Again, we haven't seen each other and talked rarely. 8:30 at night, she goes, I just closed my laptop. So I'm like, well, and I'm not going to tell you my day.
Are you going to stitch tonight? I can't even see. No.
Yeah.
But I did touch each piece this week.
Well, that's important.
I didn't want to hear voices, I guess.
Don't your pieces speak to you? Oh.
My husband doesn't even speak to me, let alone the cross-stitch pieces.
I know sometimes I find myself talking and then I look to him for the answer, and I go, so, and he goes, so what? And I go, I said that all in my head, didn't I? And he goes, yeah.
Oh, I had to say that out loud.
I know. So now we finished our WIPS and talked about PIPS. So it's
FIPS?
No, it's finishes. Do you have any finishes?
I have no current finishes. But
we do. We have a collab.
We have a collab. You may have remembered a few times we showed all of those shepherd's bush heart designs that I had done that stitched up really quickly. Well, there's also a series of sheep that I was just obsessed with.
Oh,
so I think I've stitched every one of those small sheep. And so when we were going through the drawer and Julie made off with the hearts, she also made off with a couple of sheep to see, like, is there anything that we can do to make these a little special and give you an opportunity to switch them out.
And display them instead of keeping them in the drawer. The drawer is a lovely place, but sometimes it's no place for sheep. It's just no place for sheep.
So look at this, you guys. So Julie took a couple of sheep and mounted them. And this one left plain. But look at this. Magic. It's sheet metal.
It's sheet metal.
In a frame. This is mounted, but on the back there's
multiple magnets. At first I started with a center magnet, and it was fine. It didn't really, once you got it in position, you're not going to be running with it. So then I thought I'll put another one on, and then I put it the wrong way.
You couldn't stop yourself.
Poop. I'll just put 3 of them on. And
but look at the glorious options.
Here, hold that one. With my shaky hand.
This was birthday sheep, I think.
Yeah.
By Shepherd's Bush.
So
with
cute.
With a beautiful ruching. Another magnet style on the back. And then, look at that. How great is that?
Cute.
And then, there's more. There's
more.
Yeah. Hold your applause till the end, everybody. There's more. You remember this from the big reveal out of the gorgeous blue box of all of the hearts.
That can go on there too.
Look. Oh, so cool.
So it's just a piece of sheet metal that my guy, I have a sheet metal guy now, I guess. Jeez. He got at Home Depot, I think he was at, and then he took the foam core backing and cut it the same size.
Yeah.
Brian made the frame. Try to get a neutral frame.
Your other guy.
Yeah. Well, when I looked at it, the frame molding was practically all black. When it came, he said, I guess I had an old molding on it. Yes. Brushed with some burnt orangish red, but it's
almost
still,
like almost a wine-like color.
Yeah, but it still is neutral enough for all of the sheep. So I've cut several pieces of foam core that I can give you so you can mount them. Can I just say one thing? Excuse me. When you're mounting anything that's going to be used in format, if you're going to put 2 of them together or whatever, you know how on the back where you bring over the right side and the left side, whether you tape it or lace it, I have made a conscious effort to do the sides first and then bring the top over, because when you're looking at a piece, you don't want to see the
a little
angles.
Pucker in the corner. Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at it this way, you're seeing the smoothness, not the mitered corners.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
So every time I go to mount something, I'm like, okay, do the sides first, then bring the top over. It
like
just
a burrito.
Is a smooth.
That sounds good.
We should have those for. I was thinking of. Oh man, it's like
we digress.
This is a squirrel moment, isn't it? So yeah, that's one thing you want to do. Now remember how you said you don't lace. Now, here's a little tip.
Here's another difference between me and Julie.
No. And there's a reason why on a small piece like this. I took the pins out. If I were to have taped the back, and then I cut this little piece of cardboard just out of the back of a notebook that I save, and glued that on, if by chance your acid-free mounting tape ever let loose, then the whole thing's gonna fall apart.
Oh.
And I mean, will we live long enough to see that tragedy?
I won't.
But it is, you know, when you're starting to glue things on, you're gluing it to the tape. You're not gluing
you're
not gluing it to the needlework. And when you've got it laced, in the back, and yeah, oh, I hate to use the even word hot glue, but you're gluing your glue on, your glue is laying in the lacing, adhering to the foam core, and then when you put your backing on, now it's all gluing together rather than having it gluing to the acid-free tape.
That makes total sense.
That just to me was like a big brain bubble right now trying to explain that. I hope it is clear. So,
it is clear. Yeah.
Okay, clear as mud.
So yeah, thank you, Julie. I
think that'll be fun.
Someday I will actually take things off shelves and dust in here so that there's room to. Don't get too excited.
Speaking of, house cleaning. We've been doing this, and I'm like, well, I got homework, so I'm going to stitch, and then I'm going to watch. Oh, I can't watch my shows anymore. I've watched them so many times. But it's like, no one's cleaning.
You know what? Let me tell all of you. I'm not always like a good friend, but here's a way in which I'm like the best friend you could ever have. I purposely do not clean my house so that when friends come over and then go home to their houses, they feel so much better about themselves as housekeepers.
So you're doing a public service?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, I'm sure this is no surprise to any of you, dust is a protective covering for furniture.
Yes. But if you sit down heavily on a sofa, you feel like Pig Pen from Snoopy. I just know tomorrow.
Pig Pen is one of my favorite characters.
Tomorrow will be a day of cleaning. It just
at
is.
Your house. Let's make it clear.
No. At my house, it's going to be cleaning and haircuts. So that's what we're doing tomorrow.
Are you going to clean after the haircuts?
We do it out in the shop. So that's his territory. So, I guess I do have. Now I used to love to clean, here.
But I found, unfortunately, you have to be able to walk and stand to clean. So
I didn't do this very well. Excuse my...
Are you okay, Julie?
Well, the last thing I want to do is have to bend over on camera. So much for that. Can we edit that out? No. You are my friend. You wouldn't even do that for me.
I don't love anybody that much.
Well, it's not like we all don't have hips, right? So, all right, for our Hardinger moment, Jane and I talked about what we could show, and this is a finish. You were done with your finishes?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. This is just like a train wreck today. So we went to the North Shore one weekend.
1 week.
Yeah, it was a long week. Yeah. And I
Wait a minute. It was a week. Oh, yeah, it was long. Okay.
Well, here we go. I wanted to design something for my daughter's table. Why a family of two has a 58 by 58 inch kitchen table is beyond me.
Well, in my case, it would be so that I could pile more mail on it.
Well, yeah, that kind of, she got it when she moved into, this was her first house, and it was a really good deal. 6 chairs, 58 by 58. And luckily, she had a kitchen big enough to accommodate.
It is a nice sized kitchen.
So I thought, well, you know what that is? That's just heaven for designing a runner. And her kitchen is yellow. A real pretty yellow. This is a little vibrant, and it's Van Gogh. So she's got a lot of Van Gogh stuff. So, but anyways, I thought I'm going to do something. So I called this the Bella. Okay. It was like, you'll have to tell me if they can see that.
Yeah.
Keep going. Okay. So, I started this when we were up at the North Shore, and I was sitting by the window. It's 18 count linen. Of course, this screaming yellow. We'll get to the end.
Now let's take it back.
18 count linen. I'm working it with Pearl Cotton number 3 for the buttonhole and cluster block and satin work. Number 5 for the cable. I don't know if we can even go close with it for the cable. And then I used number 8 for the wrapping. I did picos.
Of course, the perfect picos.
Yes, they are. Okay. So, when you're working, just a little information to pass along. You're going to be
hold up. Well, I'm going to hold it up like this so they can just see how airy it is. It's just beautiful.
It is. And so, you want your cluster block and buttonhole edging to be done in a fiber that is heavy enough, similar to the weave of the fabric. So that's why this required a Pearl Cotton number 3. And then I did the wrapping, then should be in 5, but I like to wrap with Pearl Cotton 8, which is finer. So as much as there are rules of thumb for hardanger, that if you're on 22 count, you use 5 and you wrap with 8. If you're on 25 count, it's kind of a judgment call. If you want a heavy look, you can use 5 and wrap with 8. If you want a more delicate look, you can wrap with 8, or cluster block with 8 and wrap with 12. And then on 28 and 32, you will want to use a Pearl Cotton 8 for your cluster block and buttonhole, and a 12 for wrapping. Now I have in my youth, so many years ago it was youth, I did a christening cloth on 52 count linen, and I used Pearl Cotton number 12 for the cluster blocks and buttonhole edge, and I did the wrapping with sewing thread. There's got to be help for someone like that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're doing a christening cloth on that, 36 count should be nothing.
I know.
It should be nothing.
Well, I said in my youth. Now I'm older and wiser.
Well,
and
it is not here.
Well, and not only that, you can wipe the kid's head with a paper towel in moving forward. So, this is called the Bella. It is rolled up and put in a shipping tube. It does not go on their kitchen table. One of two things. It was
I've got the drawer no return. Julie has the shipping tube of no return.
But the thing is that this is for Bella. However, she chooses to use it when she's, not.
I'd have to find a way to hang it like a piece of art.
I don't know. But here's the real. We're back on.
Oh,
for
hi,
how
everybody.
long? We have no idea.
We had technical difficulties, so we have no idea where the last video stopped and where this one begins, or how long we're going to be on. But you were telling us about how it's for Bella.
The pieces for Bella for whenever she chooses to take possession of it. And the table that it would reside on has been cut in half as the girls eat in front of the TV. And it has become a 58 by 58 inch catch-all by the back door. So I will stick it back in its shipping tube, and it'll just wait there for someone to come and claim it. So,
and I would show you mine. I started it, but I think I have maybe 6 stitches in it. I got overwhelmed by.
Are you doing it on yellow or on blue?
Yellow.
Oh, are you?
I didn't even know there was a blue, but that would have been delicious too.
Yeah, the blue is. You want to start one on blue? Because I have blue 18 count linen.
Yeah. I'll give you my yellow fabric and can take the 6 stitches out of it. And...
So what do you think? Are there gremlins in here? Why did our camera go in and out like that? We are by the airport. Which would have nothing.
Aliens.
They're not landing on your roof, so. Oh, so there will be a splice because we just can't possibly recreate all of this.
It'll take till Tuesday to figure out how to do it.
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll have a part 2, or just try to put them together.
Part 1, a sudden ending. Part 2, what happened?
What the hell?
We're back. What happened?
So now I have no idea. Oh, we were going to deliveries. Did you get any deliveries?
I
Delightful or otherwise?
I did. And, you know, I did not plan my file very well, so hold, please.
Here, I'll take it. Or are you going to sit it there?
We'll just sit it there.
Okay.
I showed last time that I went on a Plum Street sampler binge. And a lot of them use a combination of hand-dyed, Weeks Dye Works, and Gentle Arts, and DMC. Well, my DMC is very old and up in a place where I can't reach it. And so I thought, and some of the, like the Live on Little called for multiple skeins of DMC. So here was one of my delightful deliveries, a big old bag of DMC. So later this afternoon, while we're waiting for upload, part 1, part 2, or both.
Or part 3.
I will be floss winding and putting these on my acrylic floss drops and labeling them. But
Cool.
DMC is so beautiful.
It is.
Really beautiful. Some of the colors are awesome. And then I picked up a tiny little Little House Needleworks Gratitude. Look at those sheep.
Oh,
aren't they darling?
They are.
Love it.
And it just says gratitude.
Yep,
Is that what it
just
says?
says Gratitude. But it's got some nice fall colors in
Yeah.
there. So I might do that on 40 count because it's
Because you can.
well, because it's a manageable size. I think it would be a good project to maybe start on 40 count. I guess I should put my money where my mouth is since I'm like, Julie, do 40 count.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's great.
And then
Oh,
I totally blame Julie and Sarah for this. Sarah showed this. Sarah's Stitchy Spot showed this. A Tisket Tasket, and she had a start on it. And so this happened. So that was one thing. But then this happened.
Oh.
All of the
Are those the
Weeks
colors
Dye
called
Works.
for?
Yep, those are the called for colors. I think there's some DMC that also need to go in there. I have to go through the fabric drawer and find some fabric. And then, oh my God, you guys, speaking of fabric.
Well, I think we need to move your pile a little bit if
Here,
you're gonna.
I'll take it and
Oh,
drop
no.
it on the floor.
No,
Like, why
just
not?
put it back on top.
Well,
of
I
the
don't mean
set.
I would purposely.
Well,
You know my record with dropping things on the floor in every video. Sit, Ubu, sit. Okay, got it. Okay, now I'm going to trust that because we're all friends that this is a no judgment
absolutely.
zone.
We got magnets everywhere.
Yep.
Clear path.
Okay, this is a 40 count Leo and Roxy Rustic Pistachio.
Killing me. You're killing me. Oh my goodness.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is rusty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I
It's beautiful.
love it.
Slight hint of green, not overpowering.
No, no.
That one's beautiful. And then if that weren't enough, there is also Leo and Roxy 40 count porcelain,
That is
which
beautiful.
is a gorgeous.
It has a
gorgeous color.
slight peach or apricot.
Slightly peachy.
Slight, ever so slight.
Very subtle.
Mm.
So I'm excited about that. And then we have from Seraphim, this is 36 count antique lace. I kind of came to my senses a little bit and got some 36 count. And that has some really nice modeling on it.
Is that double-sided? It's dyed, it's not stamped. So what's on the front is on the back?
Yep, it's just
Okay.
one might be a little stronger than the other.
Okay.
But yeah, it's through and through. How great, right?
Yes.
Okay, then this is my new color that I'm obsessed with. This is 36 count butternut.
Oh. You almost need to take a moment of silence.
Somebody
for
hold
that.
me.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
I can't.
Hold me, somebody.
I can't.
So cool. I really look forward to finding something
Well, if not,
on that.
you just know that you have comfort in that.
Okay, and then a few weeks ago I showed you Seraphim Bee's Knees, and I only had a fat quarter of that.
Poor thing.
I know. And
to which she didn't know what she was even going to do with a fat quarter of it. Right?
And
Right.
So I was obsessed with the color, so I decided to buy a yard.
Why not?
Of 40 count Bee's Knees. It is beautiful, but it's a totally different color.
Oh,
than
you had mentioned that.
Than the quarter.
Well, that's the dyeing process.
Yeah, that's just the dye
But it is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. And I think probably, how do I say it?
I have no idea.
The other one is a much deeper color, and so probably not as versatile as far as like you would really have to,
like that color,
like floss tosses.
You'd have to really
this
know.
Is lighter and a little more neutral, and so, you know, probably any color palette. Brenda Gervais, Blackbird, Plum Street, you know, or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm now the proud but yet ashamed owner of a 40 count. And again, oh look, Sharpie in the selvage.
I will never live that down.
You will not. So
it is gorgeous. I'm really
very beautiful.
interested if you're ever going to use that. But see, there's a difference between Jane and I. She buys it for the love of buying it, and for
not for the love of buying it.
The love of
the
having
buying it part, the paying for it part, I don't enjoy at all.
The love of having it.
Yeah.
Where I buy it because it's going to be used for something and it's gonna. I hate that about myself. You know, why do I do that?
It's a noble way to do things.
Well, it's not very much fun.
It's just, I don't know. I've said this the last 3 videos. I have to stop.
No, you don't have to.
I have
You
to.
still have a roof over your head and Grubhub comes, you're fine.
Well, the grub will be in the hub less often after this stash of fabric.
Okay, do you want fabric or do you want to have to start cooking? That's what it'll come down to.
Wow, that's harsh. Are those my only 2 choices? That seems a little extreme.
Well,
you can have fabric or you have to cook.
I thought I was your friend.
I don't know, those might be fighting words.
It's tough love.
You're going to have to start to cook. Why would you say something like that to somebody?
Well,
I do like to cook.
Yes.
We joke.
Yes, we do joke. Okay, you know what I'm looking over here? I forgot to show all the rest of my stuff. We're sitting here watching it go from filming, not filming, filming, not filming, that I forgot. Can I show?
Absolutely.
Well, it's kind of like starting
like a strobe light.
It's kind of like...
They're gone. They're back. They're gone. They're back.
It's kind of like, you know, starting all over, because here's a finish. I wanted to show you this because it's my favorite thing that I finished. I think I got the pattern in 1995, and I just finished it this last year. And I like putting stuff out for Americana. I like putting, you know, sunflowery fall stuff out. This one really doesn't, this one is in a season between Christmas and Easter. But I took it out because I love it. It's called Two Fine Ewes. And it is from, I wrote it down because I actually had to Google it because I thought I'm never stitching this again. It was a full coverage one. It's by the City Stitcher and it was copyright in 1991, so it is an old one. But this is what it is.
Oh my goodness.
And to show you how old it is, for you young folk that probably don't know this was tweeted. Remember tweeted?
Oh.
Where they didn't have overdyeds back then.
Right.
So you would use, if you were on 14 count stitching with 3 strands, you would do 2 of one color, 1 of another color, and that's what would give you the shading.
You would blend
well,
those
there
together.
was no way I was going to do that, so or did I? I don't know. I'm old and I have forgotten. but
doesn't matter. It's
I don't
beautiful.
and
Full coverage. Holy
yeah,
Hannah.
and I left a deeper margin so the fabric was there, so the texture of the frame that looks like it's made out of leather. And then, am I okay now?
Yep. Go.
So
yeah,
that is my favorite. So I too like sheep of a different kind. But you know, okay.
You know, and if you hadn't told me this is 32 count, I would think that it was a much, much smaller
No, it's
count.
32 count. That I recall, it was a 32
That's gorgeous.
count. But, you know, I have a favorite TV show that I watch, and I got all into, I got to get those sheep out because that just reminds me of the Highlands.
Scotland.
Yeah. A wee bit, my lass. Okay, so that's that.
You Sassenach.
Yeah, I know. Jeez. That's a whole nother episode we're going to have
And
soon.
a whole nother sampler.
Yes. Ah. Anyways. Left over.
You started it.
Yes, here's a look at it's just like doing a mini episode.
Yeah. Maybe this could be a delightful detail.
Yeah. Okay, so remember I ordered the Diane Arthur's Imaginating 1947 sampler.
Folkart sampler.
See, the PIPS is what threw me today when I was talking about PIPS. Because here's another thing that I struggled with.
You know who else had PIPS?
What?
Gladys Knight.
Jesus.
They all took the midnight train to Georgia together.
I think that's where I need to leave right after this episode. Oh, Tim.
If we had more space, I would do a PIP dance.
That I'd move this table for.
Train to Georgia.
All right, let's try to focus, or I'm going to forget what I was going to say about this.
Yeah, we might be running out of time.
Even
as we speak.
Maybe that's why the camera went blank. Okay, so I thought I'm going to use that affogato, even if it's 40 count.
Yeah.
I didn't like it for this either.
Oh.
Because it had green in it, and I didn't want the green.
Oh, sure.
So this is a picture.
Picture this plus.
And I have it written down because this is a picture. This plus 32 count sand.
It's really pretty.
But the thing is, once again, one side, because this is stamped on both sides. So one side had a pretty substantial dark spot on it. So I switched it to this side. And so I'm flipping back and forth. I had to trim a little off the fabric because I do want this on scroll rods. And my 18-inch scroll rods are coming. So it's like I made this to be 17 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got plenty of fabric. Okay, so I'm stitching it on with Turkish red Weeks Dye Works. It was a struggle. You know, I'm a 2-strand gal on 32 count. But bear in mind, these are washed many, many times, I'm sure, during the dyeing process. So the weave was kind of tight. And I'm like, I told Tom last night, I'm not really liking this with 2 strands. But it is so heavy with design. So
yeah.
What did I do up here in the corner, folks? Jane, look.
You experimented.
I did, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I did 5 stitches, 3 rows with 2. And it's almost like, I don't even know how to explain this without sounding like dope. You almost had to move the stitch to get the needle in that shared hole. Yeah. But I wish you could see this up close. Look at the over 1. There's too much fabric showing on that for me, especially when you've got the density of the flowers. And then look at that border. Boy, I should have looked at this a little bit closer.
It's a lot of backstitching.
Backstitching. So if you're with 1 strand cross stitch and you're backstitching with 1 strand, you're going to lose that dimension.
Yeah.
So I told Tom, I can't believe I'm going to rip this out and do it in one. I think I'll just have to, I'll have to move if I'm going to become just strictly a one thread gal. But I didn't.
The coverage is beautiful.
I'm going to soldier on because I think if
especially with red, there's always some kind of evidence left behind.
Yeah. Well, I could have started on the other, you know, I mean, I could have started on the other side. Or two, if you do take something out with a dark color and it leaves the little fuzz trail, take your acid-free framing tape and just
blot it.
Sticky blot it, and it pulls it. Do it on both sides, on the back side too.
Oh, sure. Because then you don't have whispers coming through.
Right, with each thread pull. So this is what made me think of it as being a pip, is because I gave it some forethought of what size scroll rods I was going to put it on. Also what side of the fabric I liked best. And then once I started stitching it, I was really thrown by that two strands or one strand. So
so many choices.
Yeah, and I guess maybe since I didn't stitch for an entire week because we simply were not home. We were gone every day for 12 hours a day, and I didn't get any stitching time in, which is fine. That's
life happens.
Yeah. But I'm like, I really wanted to start some of these things, and I was really taken back at how much time the prep to start a project is. Well, at least it is for me.
That's why I like the Shepherd's Bush Kit Garanimals. You open the bag, you separate it. Off and running.
It's all there.
Off and running.
Well, I do have another pip. I bought this, came as a delightful delivery. And it's Cottage Garden Samplings. It's Trick or Treat. Is that right?
Yep.
Am I good?
Yeah, it looks
And
great.
of course, what's down at the bottom, but little rounds. Again, I needed a working copy, so that was a trip to get a color copy. And then...
Oh, because the chart's in color?
Yep, which is fine. Not a problem. And I told Jane... The fabric,
it's very nicely charted too, isn't it?
What is the fabric they call for? I think they called for Cyprium.
40 count Cyprium linen by Picture This Plus.
But I'm not doing it as an entire picture.
Yeah.
I am just doing them as individuals. Jane and I talked about it, and I'm doing 3 rounds, and then I'm doing the square trick or treat. So when you're doing a round, you don't have that much showing of the fabric.
Yeah.
And also the middle rounds I'm going to use, I needed to be on a 32 count. So I've pulled floss for 100 years. I've never dropped floss before.
Or tossed it.
Or tossed it or dropped it. What are we doing? I put them all on because I was a little surprised about the colors. They were a little bit brighter than I thought they would be.
It's a great palette.
It is. And then I went through my stash.
Wait, I thought you didn't have a stash.
Well, I do.
I thought you only had things that
It's so ancient that it's from Audrey's.
Ancient stash.
So what I did is I pulled these colors.
All gorgeous colors.
Since they're just going to be little. So that was a pip. That was a lot of work.
A pip and a delightful delivery.
All in one.
Combo.
Gosh, it's like the full meal deal.
Full meal deal.
Yeah. And then the also talked about affogato.
The infamous.
Yes. It is beautiful.
It really is beautiful.
It shall join, as I was looking for fabric, I have 2 other 40 counts. I have no clue how they got in my drawer. Seriously, because I was not on the 40 count, was not on my radar 2 years ago. So it's like, I'm looking through and I'm like, is it just multiplying in here just by thought process?
Like rabbits.
Yeah. So it is beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And I will do something with it because Jane said I had to. I'm like, I've got this piece of fabric.
I'll trade you for a 36 or a 32 count, something.
That would be a good thing. But okay. I could maybe do something. But it's like,
absolutely.
I told her, I said, I've got this fabric and I don't know what to do with it. How, I can't believe, and she's like, you don't have to have something to do with it. So I'm like, so I just have it to have? Out of my league. So then, of course, I had to jump on the wagon.
I can't wait to start.
Okay, right here.
I really can't wait.
I'm actually anxious to start as well.
Every time I'm on Instagram and scroll, I see it and I'm like, oh.
We've got to do that.
I have to start it. Come on, pick some fabric. Let's go. But then 2 scrolls later, it's something else. And I'm like, oh, I have to start that.
Well, I had some things in my cart, Jane. And as I'm looking to make sure the quantities weren't added
this is
going
to be a good story. I have to take a sip.
Well, no, it's not much of a story other than before I checked out, I'm like, what's that one I had to have that Jane had? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Plum Street. So I quick added this one. But to go along, we're expanding our menu selection.
No design travels alone.
And we're expanding our menu. Yes, it's true. I got the chicken feed sack.
Oh, I love the colors.
Isn't that
so
fun?
Cheery, yeah.
And oh my God, they had a sheep feed sack.
Get out!
Yeah. They have the hungry hare. And they have a cow and a horse. The cow was, I didn't care for the horse, and the cow was on back order. So that's pending in my cart. But I think these will be fun. Now, you know what? I'm thinking maybe that little hare, the hungry hare, could go on my affogato and have it be little to put in one of my displays at home that I do, because I'm really
that
big
would
on
be
Easter.
Amazing, I think.
So just to see that,
because this doesn't scream feed sack as much as some of the other ones,
right? Like that one,
like those two.
But you know, this one, I have that black short dresser in my TV room, stitching room.
Yeah,
that would look so cute hanging on the knob with that black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Did you notice Hawk Run Hollow Farm?
No, I did not.
Look at that. Hawk Run Hollow Farm.
I just didn't know if I needed to bring the patterns along with a fry pan and some flour and an egg wash.
I got the egg and the flour.
So, well, I don't know. All my stuff is done in a very mixed up order. I mean, we're 6 episodes in and we still don't have our stuff together, do we? Oh well, it's kind of like life lately, huh?
It what does it say? Life imitates art, or art imitates life. Probably true.
I don't know,
but that's okay.
Well, we don't know how we're gonna put this together.
You might see 2 apologies.
Yeah, or maybe we'll have to ask Miss Bella or Catherine, who are a little bit more tech savvy, on how to put 2 things together. But we have been kind of brainstorming, and we've got a really fun episode coming up next.
The next one will be epic.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe we might have to, I hope it comes in its entirety in one and not a 2-part. Although 2-part of epic is just as good.
Gone with the Wind was in 2 parts.
It was. Yes, it was. I think for right now, you'll want to make sure September 10th.
Yeah, we will make the video on September 10th, and maybe by the autumnal equinox, it will be uploaded to YouTube.
But it's going to be fun. We've got...
we hope you'll join us.
Yeah, got some fun things lined up.
Yeah.
So, thank you for enduring to the end of whatever video.
We're not for everyone,
is.
but we're glad we're for you.
Oh,
Thank you.
It's amazing. I'm really overwhelmed that anybody would want to watch us, but each other.
That's not kind of creepy, Julie, but we know what you mean.
No, you said you watch it too, so she's making me sound like I'm a weirdo. So
until next time, the next time that we see you, again, all of the best to you. We wish you health, happiness, and the abundance of all the things that make you happy.
Yes.
Take good care of yourselves, and until next time, happy stitching, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Yep. Bye-bye.